Hi, I want to thank you for watching my videos. I'm Dr. Jason J. Campbell, and in today's video I'm going to continue my analysis of Ayn Rand's Introduction to Objectivist Epistemology. Primarily, this discussion is only going to concentrate on the first 3 pages of Chapter 2. Her initial analysis is very dense, and what I want to do is I want to make her epistemological account more accessible by going through and sort of itemizing what exactly the implications of her analysis are. As I've said in the previous series of videos, what Rand is attempting to do until this point is to give an epistemological justification for the ability to formulate concepts. Specifically what she does in the title of Chapter 2 is concept formation. What I'm going to do in this analysis is talk about how Rand justifies epistemologically her unique method of concept formation. One little asterisk to that, I would say unique but indebted to Aristotle. As we said before, as I said before in previous videos, what Rand does is she augments an Aristotelian account of the form-function relationship, and that is sort of the conceptual philosophical grounding for an understanding of Rand. So the more you understand Aristotle's form-function relationship, the better you'll understand Rand. You can understand Rand without Aristotle, but you would understand her better if you have an understanding of Aristotelian form-function relationship, his critique of Platonic dualism, and so on. Alright, so let's begin. This is Ayn Rand. Alright, so this is Ayn Rand's Objectivist Epistemology. Alright, so this is Chapter 2.1 in the notes. 2.1. Again, if you want to gain access to the notes, I've provided a PDF version of the notes. Click the banner or the link in the description field. It'll take you to the PDF. Download the PDF. You can follow along. As I continue through the analysis of the 7 chapters, I will expand the PDF until the PDF is fully expanded, and you'll have sort of my interpretation, my take on Rand. Another thing as well, I've been getting a lot of questions. Am I a Randian? How do I feel about Rand? As an academic, good pedagogy is unbiased or as objective as possible. I'm not a Randian, but she makes very good epistemological arguments. I'm less concerned with her political views or her ethical views. I'm more interested in her epistemology. That's what I do. And as far as pedagogy is concerned, me communicating these ideas, I have to be unbiased in my communication. So that's my little disclaimer. Alright, so concept formation. How do we talk about concept formation? For Rand, she wants to make this idea of concept formation accessible, and she wants to put the idea of concept formation in the simplest terms, in the simplest descriptive means possible. How does she do this? Well, let's look at the idea of the concept. All right, and the question is, well, what is that? The first thing is that the concept is, and we know this, right? It is a result of the integration of at least, but 2 or more units. So in the previous series of videos, we looked at the set which contained, triangle, triangle, square. And we recognize that these 2 triangles represent a unit. And we recognize from the unit, we're able to formulate the idea triangle. And we're able to justify this concept, right? This would be my concept. We're able to justify this concept definitionally, right? And we can say technically that a triangle is an enclosed 3-sided geometric figure interior angles totaling 180 degrees. Right? So we can say that instead of saying this very detailed definitional account, an enclosed three-sided geometric figure with interior angles totaling 180 degrees, we can just appeal to the concept triangle, right? It simplifies. It means exactly the same, but I've used this term now to identify the concept, so that now our communication is facilitated by the concept. Not only the concept, but the appropriation of the word to the concept. So instead of saying, I would like you to take out your pencil and draw an enclosed three-sided figure with interior angles totaling 180 degrees, I can say, I would like you to draw a triangle, right? It simplifies our linguistic ability. And insofar as our linguistic ability is simplified, communication is also simplified. So the first portion of it is a recognition of this integration. The second portion that she discusses in the beginning of chapter 2 is that we do this, we're able to do this by isolating the specific character, right? The specific character to these figures is this definitional account, right? So that the specific character to these two figures is this definitional account, which justifies the fact that the same definition holds true for an isosceles versus an equilateral triangle, right? You can talk about isosceles, you can talk about equilateral. The same definitional account holds true for both entities, right? So as far as Rand is concerned, our first access to a recognition of these entities is a consequence of our ability to perceive the world. The idea of isolation, she says isolation requires abstraction, right? It requires abstraction. For me to be able to isolate an object, for example, her book, right, out of many books that are resting on my desk, my ability to isolate this and classify this as a book, just like I did with the nature of triangle, there is, though it may not be cognitively aware to me, I am, in classifying, in claiming that this thing is a book, appealing to a definitional account of what a book is, right? So what does that mean? Insofar as I'm able to identify something, isolate something within the world, right? We're talking about isolation. Insofar as I'm able to identify, isolate something in the world, in order for me to be able to do that, I have to make an appeal to some governing definitional account. And usually this definitional account, almost always, is unconscious. I'm not aware that I'm making an appeal to what it is to be a book. I just see it and I'm like, oh, that's a book. You can imagine that this might be one of those books where you like store secret stuff in, right? And I take it up and I open it up and I realize, wow, there are no pages. Well, I'm able to say that this is not a book because it does not appeal to my definitional concept. What we want to do as epistemologists is we want to extrapolate, we want to get rid of sort of this instantiation, we want to get rid of the particular book and talk exclusively about the definitional function that words have in describing things in the world, right? So that's what she's attempting to do. And the process of doing this is what she calls uniting, U-N-I-T-I-N-G. And uniting is the integration, right? The synthesis, if you will, the integration of individual units. So the idea would be not these particular, and that's a poorly drawn triangle, but not these particular triangles, right? But the concept triangle.